The International School of Portland is celebrating its 35th birthday this year. They are one of only 2 schools in the United States providing 3 full language immersion programs, Chinese, Japanese, and Spanish, all under one roof. Located in downtown Portland, they're also the first school in the Pacific Northwest to adopt the renowned International Baccalaureate Primary Years program. They teach preschool through 5th grade and have an open house this Friday morning, April 24th, where you can find out more. Sign up to attend their open house at internationalschool.org. That's INTL school.org. Hey, it's Claudia here. At the end of today's episode, we have a special segment sponsored by Demore Law. I'll be talking with Angel Steck, Community Engagement Manager at Portland's only day shelter for women, children, and marginalized genders. We'll be discussing how they're helping folks experiencing homelessness find safety, support, and a path towards stability. Also, they have a really cool event coming up they want to tell you about. So stick around after the show to learn more about the work they're doing and how Portlanders like you can help and support them. This is CityCast Portland. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Today on CityCast Portland, we're looking into how the mayor's Sunday routine often involves cleaning up Portland and why Governor Kotek is squaring up for a fight with some of the most powerful education organizations in the state. Plus, we'll have some picks for the best pizza in town in celebration of Portland Mercury's Pizza Week. Joining me are food and drink reporter Alex Frane and our very own... Hold on, I'm not done, buddy. Joining me are food and drink reporter Alex Frane and our very own senior producer, Giulia Fiaoni. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys.
Hey.
Hello.
You just heard your name and you're like, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Present.
It's like school attendance.
Present. Oh no, we're keeping that in.
You tell me to jump in.
I just need to know no one's ever told you to jump in.
That is
giving you
not
mixed
true.
signals.
Before we jump into the news, I usually ask an opening question so any new listeners can get to know our guests a little better. And today's opening question is all about the announcement that August 8th will be the last day that you can visit the Lloyd Center as is. The good news is that a lot of vendors have already secured relocation for their shop. 2 of my favorites, the comic book store Floating World and the Lego store Brickdiculous, are moving to Pioneer Place, which is awesome. Also, Jumbo's Pickleball, Tractor's Earth, and Regal Cinemas will remain open during the mall's ongoing renovation. I know it's a few months out, but I thought we could help eulogize what was at one point the world's largest shopping center, according to its then owners. And we would do this by sharing a favorite moment spent at the Lloyd Center. Alex, you grew up in Portland, so you did. Yeah, you have the most memories out of all of us. Which was your favorite?
It's funny too because I kind of come from I feel like the last generation of mall goers. You know what I mean? I was born in 1985, which was kind of like the apex of the malls as a social point. I spent a lot of time there in the early 2000s, late 90s, going to movie stores and, seeing films there and everything. But when I was a little kid, before I was really able to go trick-or-treating on streets to houses, my mom would actually take me to the mall for trick-or-treating because they had it set up for kids. You'd go to store and kind of treat it like a normal trick-or-treater would. And that was, kind of probably the most core memory I have of Lloyd Center, honestly.
Oh, that's awesome. I love a good mall trick-or-treat. I always thought it was really cute. I never got to experience it, but it seemed, every time I see it, I'm just like, oh, that's so cute. What about you, Julie?
I don't know if they kept doing that or not. Or how long they did that for.
I think they still do. They still have that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
What about you, Julia?
So I had the absolute pleasure of just a few months ago joining in on one of the Food Court 5000 mall walks.
You did? Cool.
It was so sweet. There was probably around 70 different people there in costumes.
That's a lot.
The music was bumping. It was so much fun. And I already loved the Lloyd Center so much. but going there and just getting to document that walk for a story that we did a while ago. I will say it was really hard to keep up with them. There was a point where I was running out of breath trying to just chase them around the mall to get sound. And I was like, this is a workout for me. I didn't really think about this.
That's Vera Mysteria, right?
Yes. She leads the whole thing. She's such a fabulous person, but that just kind of left a really special memory to say goodbye to the mall for me. I don't even know if I want to go back again before the closure because it was just such a nice send-off, but I will be missing the mall a lot.
I think my favorite memory is actually with you, Giulia, with one of your first reported stories about the mall.
Yeah.
And I remember we had so much fun. Maybe we'll link the show on the show notes if the spirit moves us. But it was a pretty cool thing. We were just sort of like at the height of like when it was becoming punk rock mall, the punk rock mall. We went in there for a day and had a really wonderful time and spoke to all the vendors and stuff. So that's still my top mall experience so far.
Those soft pretzels were memorable.
Well, you guys, appreciate the answers. Just a quick reminder that 503 Day is once again happening this year. It lands on a Sunday, May 3rd, of course, and it will be held yet again from 1 p.m. to 6:03 p.m. downtown at Ankeny Alley. That's where the Voodoo Shop is. We're not hosting it this year, but we will be in attendance, along with a pop-in from the mayor, I hear. So it should be fun.
Yay.
Yeah. On to the news of the week. I'm actually kicking off the show today with some reporting by Shane Dixon Kavanaugh from the Oregonian. The Oregonian noted that the mayor's public calendar had frequent Sunday outings blocked out. And after seeking additional details, Wilson's office invited the Oregonian to just join him on one of his Sunday rounds. And these Sunday rounds are something he's frequently done since taking office like 16 months ago. Shane found out that on a typical Sunday, our mayor is just driving around town, picking up trash, reporting derelict vehicles, monitoring encampments or other areas that people have reported, and among other things, you know. So here's a quick breakdown of what Shane recorded for that particular Sunday. For one, just know that the mayor is dressed in jeans, a hoodie, and a backwards Met cap. I think you need this visual.
A Met cap?
Yeah, that's
not
his
very
favorite
West
team.
Coast.
I don't want to talk about that right now. But he's also driving around in his all-electric white Ford truck. So that's our mayor.
That's pretty Portland.
That's our mayor. We go. He started off his Sunday patrol in the Gateway neighborhood. He spotted a dilapidated RV, got out, took a picture with his iPhone. And I mention this because this is the way he tracks progress or flags problems he wants to see fixed. He just has a collection of pictures on his iPhone. And the mayor bases his routes and list of stops on reports and requests that he receives straight from city councilors or their offices, constituents, and Portland employees. So the mayor's wife, Catherine, is often the only person who joins him, and they call it their Latte Sundays because they get lattes and they do. I'm sorry, but that's so cute.
Really cute.
That's actually pretty cute.
Yeah.
But do we know where they're getting their lattes from?
I want to know. Damn.
I swear to God, if it's Starbucks, Mayor
That's what
Wilson,
I'm saying.
I
If it's
swear
Starbucks,
to freaking God.
the cute factor is going to drop a lot.
He probably has so many Starbucks gift cards. Come on.
I know. So this is a quote from Shane's story. He tosses trash into the back of his truck, drops by business, and obsessively phones in requests to city agencies when he comes across fixes he thinks should be made. Mayor Wilson was quoted as saying, "I could not imagine running any high-performance organization without having a first-person experience. The way I look at it, every square inch of the city is my responsibility." Did you guys know our mayor was out there just doing this on a Sunday? Like, I had no clue. And the fact that he's held this, like, his administration
that's
hasn't.
what's most surprising is that they're not using this as a constant PR move. That's actually really surprising and impressive.
For sure. I personally found the piece of reporting kind of insightful because just last week, we had Lillian Monjo Hughes on, also from the Oregonian, who also contributed to this article, talking about how the mayor and the county are not seeing eye to eye right now on the county's homeless count. Now, the mayor thinks we have way less people out on the street and refutes the high count because he's personally seen a lot of improvement. And now we know where he's getting this data, which again is more qualitative, not quantitative. But at least for me, he's less that Simpson meme I brought up of like, old man yells at cloud, the cloud being the county's confirmed homeless numbers. And he's more like, he's actually more like Pikachu. Like, he's more just like, what? Like, he's genuinely surprised and confused how all of his efforts are not making those numbers go down, especially when he's seen improvement with his own 2 eyes. People are telling him things are getting better. And for me, it makes the tension between him and the county a lot more interesting and nuanced and less just like about his ego, which upon first hearing, it's just like, that dude cannot let go of of his idea of like and it's like, well, this might actually make a little bit more sense, you know? I don't know.
Curious then that he didn't release that information earlier to kind of get ahead of that sort of criticism. If there was this sort of public disagreement, that he wasn't like, hey, I've got proof. I drive around every Sunday with my wife and our lattes.
Yeah, I wonder if it was to avoid bringing too much attention to himself, right?
Could
like,
be.
I think it took somebody noticing his calendar for him to be open about it, because it's also, I don't know, it's a questionable look to be like, because I'm cleaning everything up, that's why things are getting better. Like, it's not going to solve anything even going down that route, even though the anecdotal information, knowing that it's coming from him, is helpful.
I find it curious, too, this is happening at the same time that, like, America's favorite mayor over in New York City, Mamdani, is doing kind of a similar thing, but it's been very public on his Instagram feeds and his social media. You know, you'll see him filling potholes and dunking baskets, you know, in a good way. Like, I'm not criticizing this, but it's an interesting timing to be doing that with so much less publicity around it.
To be honest with you, I wasn't surprised, because I remember watching an interview conducted by Bike Portland's Jonathan Mouse, that basically they went on it was Mayor Wilson and Jonathan, they went on a bike ride together. And at some point during that interview, Mayor Wilson got off of his bike to pick up trash and throw it away in this neighborhood downtown. It seemed so genuine. Like, it looked like something that he did regularly. So to see this also coming up after the fact, I'm like, oh yeah, he's just been doing that. Like, he actually is doing what he says he's doing, which is interesting to see and honestly kind of nice. I mean, it motivates me to care more. I'm like, well, if he's doing it, I guess I should get out
Julie,
there.
you're not picking up trash?
No, she's throwing it most of the time.
You see trash in your...
I'm not even noticing it half the time. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
She's chucking it out of her car as she's driving down.
Dude.
It's not what I said.
I'm out in Cathedral Park every walk, and I'm just like, and I like curse the person who did it. Like, I do it. I
Which
don't
is
do it
Giulia.
as lovingly. I'm very like annoyed about
Yeah.
like, you fucking, how dare you, Surge? What is this?
Yeah. Another buzzball.
Oh, come on now. And especially like when it's like so close to the trash can, and you're like, you fucking gotta be shitting me, you guys. Anyhow.
You're the old man yelling at the cloud.
I am the old man.
That's Claudia's campaign slogan if she ever runs her office, is you fucking gotta be shitting me.
You guys. That's
You
it.
guys.
Anyhow, know that his efforts have not been overlooked in the city. So I know that we also had contributors say, like, we were trying to figure out how the city council feels about our mayor, and just know that our city council members have reported that they're genuinely impressed with like what he's doing. I mean, it's kind of hard not to be. Well, I thought it was a decent piece of news. I'm glad that somebody's reporting on this. Like, give it up for our mayor, but also the homeless count is still, that number is still true. But let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, why Governor Kotek is ready to fight our education system. Got leftover paint, stain, or varnish taking up space in your basement or garage? You're not alone. Many of us finish a project and end up with half-used cans we're just not sure what to do with. Don't let them sit there collecting dust, taking up space. Recycle them with Paint Care. Whether it's cans from a recent renovation or years of storage, Paint Care helps ensure your paint is managed responsibly and kept out of landfills. Drop off your cans for free at one of more than 175 conveniently located drop-off sites across Oregon. To find a drop-off site near you, visit paintcare.org. That's paintcare.org. One night on the coast, we can do better. Try two. With exclusive lodging deals for the month of May, your quick trip just turned into a real getaway in Newport, Oregon. From free nights at the Louis to 15% off stays across town, going home early is no longer the plan. Add in tide pools, wide open ocean views, and fresh, salty air, and you might just forget what day it is. And while you're in Newport, you can explore the Oregon Coast Aquarium and their new Amazon Rainforest exhibit, or head to Oregon's tallest lighthouse, Yaquina Head Lighthouse, for sweeping views. Visit Newport this May and unlock your lodging discounts at discovernewport.com/spring. That's discovernewport.com/spring. So, Giulia, what is going on with Governor Kotek and her education plan?
Yeah. So this one comes from Elizabeth Miller and Rob Manning at OPB, and they're talking about how late last week, Governor Tina Kotek put her foot down on Oregon school districts cutting instructional time in an attempt to fill growing budget gaps. And just to back up for a second, using Portland Public Schools as an example of what's going on, all the way back in March, the Portland Public Schools Board of Education, the school district, and Portland Association of Teachers all agreed to furlough 4 days of school this year to address a $50 million budget deficit and avoid layoffs. And this means that Oregon's already short school year is basically cut by 4 days. And examples of this are happening all over the state this year, which, although this tactic is not new, it's also not typical for schools to make big budget moves like this mid-year. So obviously, they are in very desperate shape. But all of this considered, Kotek decided, with less than a couple of months of school left in the year, to issue this executive order. Reporting from OPB says Kotek is calling on school districts that have already approved instructional time reductions below minimum requirements to restore the time by the start of the 2027 through 2028 school year.
So I guess what that means is that if there are these 4 days that are furloughed, they have to make those back up again in the next school year. Is that what I understand?
That's how I understand it. Is to not assume that they have those 4 days off again in the year coming up.
I suppose that makes sense. It seems to me that this is a conversation that's been going on for many, many, many years now around the budgets for Oregon schools, and that it's never been hasn't really recovered.
I think the thing that folks are most upset about is that, you have to keep in mind that school funding is largely set by the Oregon legislature. So school administrators, teachers are basically like, okay, the Oregon legislature is very much responsible for this mess that they're in. And they had only so many tools to manage the mess. One of those things having the option to add furlough days at the end of the school year. And now they're saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we're just not going to have that as an option for you moving forward. We're not going to encourage that. We're going to take away opportunities to add furlough days now if you need them. And administrators and faculty are looking around and saying, okay, but that's always been an option for us. And we only have so much money to go around. And just to give you an example of what's at stake, at PPS, those 4 furlough days help avoid laying off 200 teachers this year. Yeah. 200 teachers. So there's a lot at stake.
That seems like a wild thing to go after that.
Yeah. Why is Kotek pushing this? I don't understand the gain here.
Yeah. So it's a great question. And I want to point out a question that was also asked by Becky Timchuk, a school board advisor to the state board. And she said, how in the last week did this become an emergency at one of the meetings in response to this executive order? And it got me thinking. The gubernatorial election to elect our next governor of Oregon is happening in November, and Kotek is hoping to stay governor. So the timing is kind of interesting, right? We have 2 months of school left. Why is this all of a sudden an emergency? And executive orders are pretty eye-catching, right? It's one of the things that you pay attention to if you see in the headlines. And it does make it seem like she's really trying to put in an effort to help Oregon's really dire education situation right now.
Well, just to me, I don't understand who is in support of this as well for her, who she is doing this for, because getting the entire educational system, public educational system in your own state, upset with you as the governor seems like not the move. If you're trying to get some endorsements, I'm not sure if the public school arena is just yeah, that's the one, that's our gal, So it's just interesting.
I wonder if it has to do with parents that don't have a place for their kids to be on those 4 furlough days, if they don't have the ability to be home for them and they rely on that time with kids away from the house so they can work, maybe is the consideration.
Yeah. Is this like a sticking point for the Republicans? Is she playing a two-side thing?
I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like I can't speak on that, but I do at least want to mention that there are at least education advocacy groups that are really in support of this big move. So research conducted by economic consulting firm Eco Northwest found massive variability in how much time students spend in schools district by district. And this was something pointed out by Sarah Pope. Pope is the executive director for education advocacy group Stand for Children. And she explained basically in this announcement for this executive order that students in lowest time districts can receive 3 fewer school years than those in highest time districts, which means basically if you're in a district that is having to implement these furlough days and has generally less instructional time, you're altogether in school for 3 years less than other students, which is a huge deal.
3 years, like out of K through 12.
Yes, in that time.
3 of those years, like by calendar. That's wild.
That is wild.
It's a huge deal.
No, that is a massive deal.
It's like how it all adds together,
Sure,
including so many other factors that lead to shorter and shorter school years. Considering that Oregon has some of the one of the shortest school years in the country already, right? So I think all those things considered, I understand why it's like code red level emergency. But again, timing is suspicious. It's extremely complex for these schools to get on board with it at this point in the year. There's just a lot at stake here. And it is kind of a frustrating back and forth, I will say.
On the plus side, there are no other like wildly outstanding issues with education right now around like AI usage, social media usage, anything like that. So education right now is like really in a golden age.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be an interesting one to follow and see how it plays out. Thanks for taking a look at that, Giulia. Let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, Alex and pizza. The city of Tualatin wants you to know that they have a lot going on this summer, like the Blender Dash, Tualatin's craziest fun run for kids ages 5 to 15, happening June 6th. Think color, foam, mud, obstacles, even zombies. It's messy, it's wild, it's unforgettable. They're gonna love it. Then swing back on Saturday, July 11th for Viva Tualatin, a celebration of arts and culture the whole family will love. Only 12 miles away, Tualatin is also home to more than 200 acres of parks, trails, and natural areas, perfect for exploring, playing, and soaking up the outdoors all year long. Like, have you been to the Tualatin River? It's a designated national water trail with more than 38 miles of swimmable, fishable, paddleable, picnic-adjacentable waterway with easy access docks and ramps. Plan your visit today at tualatinoregon.gov. That's tualatinoregon.gov. Alex, it is Portland Mercury's Pizza Week. I feel like this is all kind of kismet because you were just like, I want to talk about pizza. And we're just like, well, it happens to be Pizza Week. So in celebration of this holiday, basically, it's a Portland holiday at this point.
It was Portland holiday.
I want to hear, tell me about these top pizza picks. Is this an article you wrote or something, or?
Well, so last fall, Portland Monthly covered the best pizzerias in Portland for the last, I don't know how many years now. It's been a while, right, since whoever it was wrote that Portland was the pizza capital of the United States and made a lot of people, especially on the East Coast, very upset. And a lot of other people go, well, that's not true, which is fine, right? Like, the conversation doesn't really matter all that much, except for the fact that it's become this sort of, I don't know, Portland has really joined the national pizza conversation, to frame it really pretentiously. But I think the reason for that is that we just have this incredible variety of pizza offerings in the city. I mean, and people are really, really obsessed with it. I will say, in my many years writing about the restaurant industry in Portland, the most flack I would ever receive was writing about pizzerias.
Interesting.
Interesting.
The only one that came close was dive bars, and that was mostly from Claudia. But
Damn.
also, just in general, it was like dive bar.
How dare you leave Slims off that
I don't need to
list.
bring this up again, do I? It's
can't,
on the
yeah,
list,
whatever.
okay? It's on the list. But pizza is like, man, people get really, really, really angry about like not only like which places you omit, but also like which places you include. People are like, that's not a fucking good pizzeria. Like, how dare you put that on there?
Damn.
People get so worked, especially people from other cities that have like this, pizza culture, like New York or Chicago or Detroit or New Haven. But I wanted to talk about some places that are like maybe a little bit less discussed. I think there's a lot of conversation around pizza in Portland in general. So I want to talk about a few of my favorites that I feel like maybe don't get quite the same amount of attention as like, say, like Ken's Artisan or Lovely's 50/50 or Nostrana, all of which are phenomenal, right? We do have a lot of really great pizza, I will say. So I want to just share a couple of my favorites. One of them is a slightly newer place. I think it's been open for just a couple of years now, called Grana over on 28th and Burnside. Yeah, because that's your neighborhood too, right, Julia?
That was my neighborhood, and I freaking love that place.
Yeah. So moved into what used to be an old Pizzicato. It was Pizzicato there for a long time. And it was not a lateral move. It was definitely an improvement. Grana, I would say, is one of the more, it really approaches, sorry for the burn on Portland's favorite local chain here.
It's true.
Grana, I would say, is one of the ones that kind of approaches Neapolitan style closest. There's a few things they do differently. It's not quite as tart and raw of a tomato sauce when he does a tomato pie. It's a little bit richer. The center is a little bit more cooked, like a little bit thicker. Like if you get like a really true Neapolitan pizza, the middle is kind of soupy. And you can find that at places like Pizzeria Otto, which are really good. But I just love the way that Grana approaches its Neapolitan style. It's kind of like a neo-Neapolitan, I guess. I don't know. None of that really means a lot. But you get this really beautiful char blistered crust, nice light, kind of easily foldable centers that are not too wet. And it's also not a sourdough pizza. I feel like that's like this really big Portland thing, right? It's a sourdough crust, especially, the wood fire sourdough crust. You'll find it places like Lovely's. And that's just become the de facto
standard almost. Yeah. Gracie's has it. Yeah. Ollie. Ollie, right? Cafe Ollie has it. Yeah.
Yep. So it's nice to get a break from that. I mean, I love a good sourdough crust, obviously. Both the two that you talked about are fantastic. But it's nice to have a little bit of a break from that.
For sure.
You get this like 3-day fermentation to this really nice, still has a nice kind of tang from the fermentation, but a little bit less of that sourdough
slightly
quality.
Sweeter. Yeah.
Slightly sweeter. My favorite thing about Grana, though, is their white pies. I think their tomato sauce is excellent, but their white sauce is where it really shines. Their pizza, the Nona, if that's on the menu right now, has like citrus peel and it's a white sauce. It's so good.
That sounds really good. I'm sorry, citrus peel on a pizza?
Yeah, the Nona's still on the menu, and it does have preserved lemon and broccolini on it, which I know people like balk at the idea of like broccoli on a pizza, but trust me, it works. It's really good. It just adds this nice crunch to it.
That sounds awesome.
No, it's so good.
That's one of my favorite pies in town is the Nona at Grana. Speaking of Gracie's, I also want to shout out Gracie's. I know Gracie's certainly gets a certain amount of press, but I wanted to shout out Gracie's particularly because Bridgetown Bites recently reported the fact that we might not have it for much longer.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Claudia, I wasn't sure if you knew this or not.
I did not know that. No.
It does sound like Gracie's is going to be closing. So its owner, Craig, is moving back to Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
With his family. And it sounds as though, according to Bridgetown Bites, it is going to be closing by the end of the month. Now, I've heard that it might be staying open in kind of another form, that another pizzeria might be taking it over and keeping the doors open, but it's not going to be the exact same Gracie's that it has been for the past, 6 years or whatever. So if you are a fan of Craig's Pizzas, as you should be, there's only going to be so many more weeks left while you can still get that incredible. I mean, I feel like Gracie's is really where I learned about the tomato pie, which is just
same here. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't have the usual mozzarella. It just has like a dusting of pecorino on it. And otherwise it's just a tomato sauce. And that's the one that the owner always kind of promoted over all of his pies. And if you never had one before at Gracie's and at Cafe Ollie, it's a weird thing to order a pizza without like that coating of cheese on top. Surprisingly good.
Very savory.
And the last one I wanted to shout out is an old favorite of mine that I also used to go to with my mom when I was a little kid over on Northwest 23rd, and that is Escape from New York Pizza,
Of course,
which is
classic.
It was reportedly the first slice shop in Portland, or at least the oldest slice shop in Portland. It was opened in 1983, so older than most of us here. And I've been to New York. I've been in some pizzerias in New York, and I know it's not like identical to those. I mean, obviously it doesn't have a coal oven for one thing, but it's still like when it comes to that like East Coast style floppy slice shop that's a little grungy and like a little punk, like that's, you know, it's old school Portland, and I still love that spot. You'll walk by on Northwest 23rd, you'll still see someone in the window, like, you know, hand throwing pizza dough in the air. They don't sell anything other than like a couple of, you know, cheese and pepperoni pizzas. There's no like chicken wings or garlic knots or I think they've got beer. Maybe that's like.
I feel like it's one of the most well-known pizza places. I can't imagine people have not heard of Escape from New York.
Right, I would hope not.
No, to me that was like a stand. Like I moved to Portland and everyone's like, oh, if you want good pizza, go to Escape.
Yeah, because that for a while was like the only real like kind of East Coast style pizza in Portland.
Yeah.
And, you know, since then we've had a lot of places open, but.
So, yeah, maybe it's lost a little shine because of all the other pizza. But yeah,
you
no,
got
it's
Scotty's
consistently.
and Pizza Cat. And,
yeah, that's consistently good. I also want to throw in Signal. A station pizza that happens to be like my go-to slice. One, because it's literally a few blocks away from me, but also because it's a one pizza place in St. John's, Alex, that looks like it's in a like gas
station. It's like an old gas station. Yeah, I've been there before.
Well, Alex, thanks for the pizza picks. Also, just a heads up, y'all, head over to the Portland Mercury's Pizza Week. There's so many. There's like over 20 restaurants that are basically just making a pie this week that is special for the week, and it looks amazing.
It's all slice specials, though, right?
Yeah,
They have $25 pies.
Oh, they do as well. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
slices and
slices.
pies. I'm
Very
excited.
cool.
Yeah, some of them look really, really good. I mean, and some of them just look really interesting. Where you're just like, what? yeah. So yeah.
It's the fun of these events, right? People can get kind of playful and do some weird stuff with it.
Exactly. Are you good? Do you ever participate in them? Like, do you ever go out and?
I'm not a big fan of Portland. This is going to sound super controversial. Not super controversial. I'm going to get some flack for this. I'm not a huge fan of the Portland themed weeks, just because I feel like it's often sort of a lost leader.
All I'm hearing is that dude in college. He's like, I listened to this band before it was
It's
cool.
sort of that a little bit. It's also like it's a challenging time to go out because those places get so busy and people are really overworked. And I just always feel like a little guilty to contribute to like more of that.
I hear that. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. Alex, Giulia, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and going through some headlines, going through some pizza picks, going through some feelings about themed weeks. I
just come on the show to get abused, apparently. That's what.
Oh my God.
Oh my poor Alex. Alejandro. Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much, you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Claudia.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. In just a second, we've got a segment sponsored by Damore Law. I'm chatting with Angel Steck from Rosehaven about Portland's only day shelter for women, children, and marginalized genders. So stick around to learn more about the work they're doing and a really cool event they got coming up and how you're able to support them. Hey, this is Claudia. Just a heads up, this conversation is sponsored by Damore Law, whose mission is to fight for people who have suffered life-altering injuries or lost loved ones. I am chatting with Angel Steck, Community Engagement Manager at Rosehaven, a Portland organization providing refuge and resources to women, children, and marginalized genders. How's it going, Angel? Thanks for being here.
It's going really well. Thank you so much for having me today.
To start, for listeners who may not be familiar, could you explain what Rosehaven is and, where exactly it fits in the Portland landscape?
Rosehaven is a day shelter and a community center. Like you said, we serve women, children, and marginalized genders experiencing homelessness and poverty. We are the only day shelter that serves our population. So we really are a niche in the Portland community. And we've been serving Portland for 29 years.
Wow. So anyone who listens to our show has heard a lot of conversations about shelters in Portland over the last few years. And Rosehaven, as you said, is a day shelter. Why are day shelters so important?
I would say that when people ask me this question, I tend to answer with homelessness is a 24/7 challenge. So where people sleep at night is just part of the equation. And you really want to have spaces where people can gather and feel safe and start to put the pieces back together. The reason we're a day shelter is we want to be open when the resources are also available so we can real time connect the guests that we serve with what they need to be successful.
So your organization's stated goal is to break this cycle of homelessness. So what is Rosehaven doing that's different from how other organizations are approaching it?
I mean, I think it takes a village. It takes many different approaches. The way that we are sort of uniquely navigating this landscape of homelessness is we're seeing each person as an individual and saying, what do you need to be successful? Which is going to be different than the next person. And then we create this unique plan. You know, when I started, I had a guest share with me. She said, being homeless, I feel invisible, yet on display.
Oof.
And that really hit home with me.
Yeah.
That like hit deep and it's like sat with my heart for years. And that's why we're a little different. We're looking at the individual. We're making space where people can feel seen and feel heard. And then really starting to navigate what that plan looks like for each person. And that's how we see success at Rosehaven.
Yeah. Well, you have a big event coming up, Raining Roses, which is on Mother's Day. What is that all about? And if Portlanders want to get involved, how can they support the work that you're already doing?
Oh, I'm so excited about our Mother's Day walk. We call it Raining Roses Walk. Raining, R-E-I-G-N, it's so great. It's the 13th year that we've hosted it in Portland. And we start the day with a big party. Think orchestra or quartet playing, think mimosas, think swag bag and a map. But really, we do this event because it's our biggest fundraiser of the year. And we are in the middle of our fundraising. So we actually launched the campaign on International Women's Day, March 8th, and we fundraise until Mother's Day. Our goal is ambitious this year. We're looking to raise $275K by Mother's Day. So it's big. Yeah. So you can definitely go to rosehaven.org. All the information about the walk and about the fundraising itself is on there. You can look how you can participate. You can donate items. You can also donate money, which is why we're doing this event. We take over the Northwest Portland area, and it's a casual stroll about 2.5 miles. And we have about 20 interactive stops. So we have bands that are going to play. We have candy distribution from C's Candy. We have tater tots. We have photo booth opportunities. And it's a celebration. We are celebrating our shelter, our community, mothers. We're making tissue paper flowers. So we are working with first graders, fifth graders, senior citizen homes. Like the entire community comes out and we make these flowers. And then we adorn our party and our walk and Rosehaven. And this year we have an after party as well. So we are on a mission to make 1,000 tissue paper flowers to help celebrate. And we invite our guests, the people we serve, to walk alongside us on the day. And it's a beautiful collaboration and celebration.
Oh, that sounds so cool. And you said there were mimosas, right?
Yes, mimosas. We have fancy bubbly rosé that was donated to us by Elk Cove Vineyards, which is a woman-owned vineyard. And
oh, I know Elk Cove. I know Anna. That's awesome.
Oh, yay.
Angel, thank you so much for being here. Again, check out rosehaven.org to learn more, maybe to donate some time, donate money. This sounds amazing. This event sounds so great. We'll have that link for you in our show notes. Thanks so much for listening. And Angel, thank you so much for all the work that you do.
Thank you for your time and the opportunity to share.
That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, share it with a friend, leave us an amazing review, and don't forget, you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Portland neighbor. Just visit membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's or a pizza shop, because I will be participating in Pizza Week.
Me too.
Philistines.